Thank you for tuning into this workshop. My name is Danielle Moore, and I'm a parent and family sports specialist with the Urban League of Greater Madison. This workshop's topic is maintaining your well-being. To start us off, just want to remind you that we're all in this together through the pandemic. You're not alone. Just remembering that we really our team right now, we're all going through this together, and it's something we've never experienced. So really don't be afraid to ask questions, seek support, utilize different resources, and to give grace, not only to yourself, but also to others. So since this is a situation none of us have gone through before, no one is expecting you to know everything and be able to solve every problem. So really it's important to rely on the network of people that you have, asking them questions if you have them, asking for them to help support you, giving you advice, seeking out different friends, partners, family, different professionals even to get support from them, and then utilizing the resources that are out there within our community. So the 211 program through United Way is a great resource to utilize. If you have any questions, they will be able to give you information about different programs and resources that are out there within the community. So they're kind of just this mass holder of information, and they would love to help you out. And then if you're ever in a situation where you feel frustrated, just kind of giving yourself grace in that, and then also reminding yourself to think about others and giving them grace in different situations in that as well. Okay, so one way to think about your well-being is in a physical and a mental aspect. So we'll start with talking about your physical well-being. One of the best ways to stay well physically is to eat healthy. So some tips and strategies to help you do that is to meal plan and prep. So planning out either what you're going to eat for your meals that week or the month, whatever you think is going to work best for you. And this really helps you be more aware of what you're eating, and you can plan around making sure that you have a balanced diet and you're eating the right amounts. And prepping can also help save you time. You know all of the ingredients that you're going to need throughout the week, so grocery shopping could be more efficient. And then it can also save you money too, because then you can look ahead, shop any sales that are happening, things like that. So really just having a plan in place and then prepping ahead of time can save you extra time, and then everything's ready for you to eat and enjoy. And it can relieve some of the stress around making sure that you have enough time to cook and you're not too tired to cook at the end of the day. It's all prepped for you. You can also include your scholars in helping you out. So maybe having them choose a meal that they would like to help cook that week, or they're in charge of it that week. Incorporating them in that can really help you out, because then you're not stuck doing all the work, really making a team effort. And then they also are learning good life skills and different responsibilities within the house. So a quick and easy tip to just switch your diet into being more healthy is just incorporating more fruits and veggies. So switching out maybe some more different processed foods for a fruit or veggie type of snack can just really help create that balanced diet. And then although it is okay to have that comfort food occasionally, just making sure that it's not all the time. It's okay to indulge yourself sometimes, just making sure that you're aware that the overall balanced diet is there. And then if you're finding that you just have a lot of leftover ingredients or things that you want to use in a recipe, you can use this cool website called Supercook. where you input all the different ingredients that you have or want to use, and they can generate some new recipes for you. Okay. Another way to stay physically well is by staying active. So as adults, we kind of want to aim for at least 30 minutes a day. Our scholars, we want them to be doing more because they're still growing and developing, but we should target ourselves for 30 minutes at least. A quick and easy way for you to do this if you're at home with your scholars is to join them in on their movement breaks throughout the day, doing it as a family, keeping each other accountable and being active. If you're not, however, with your scholar at home, just finding in different breaks, giving yourself those movement breaks throughout the day are just as important for you as they are for your scholar. I always suggest trying to get outside during any sort of activity. Just getting that fresh air outside can be really rejuvenating to our bodies. Getting a change of pace from being inside to outside, it can have great health benefits for us. You can try the classic tips of choosing to go up the stairs rather than taking an elevator, or parking further away just to get more steps in, getting our bodies to move just a little bit more. It does add up. So it might seem like, oh, well, I'm only walking a little bit further, like it's not going to make a difference, but it really does. It continues to build up. So just making that in a habit if you're going to the grocery store or shopping, parking further away. You can try multitasking. So if you enjoy watching a show in the evenings, maybe doing some small exercise circuits during the commercial breaks or during while you're watching that show. If you are doing dishes, maybe trying to do like some different things than that, just adding exercises throughout the day. Multitasking there can be a good way that you can add in being active. And if you like to just have time set aside, but 30 minutes seems like a large chunk of time for you, you can split it up into a 10-10-10 plan where you just get 10 minutes 3 times a day. And to me, that seems a lot more achievable than trying to be like, oh, I have to fit 30 minutes and where am I going to find a chunk of 30 minutes in my day? But 10 minutes is a lot more manageable, even in my opinion. So if you like that, you can do a 10-10-10 plan, or you can just work out your own schedule and making sure that you add it in and have time set apart if that's what you prefer. Okay. And then stress management can fall both into our physical well-being and our mental well-being. So making sure that we recognize that this is a stressful situation. There was stress before the pandemic, and there's, I'm sure, going to be stress in our lives after it. So now is a good time to practice how to manage it and building up different strategies that we can use to help us relieve our stress and process through it. So different strategies could be journaling. So this is one if you like to write and just process through things in that way. You can do it in a free form manner, or there are different journaling prompts out there. You can take some time to talk with a friend or another parent. Sometimes it's just nice to let out any frustrations or stresses that we might have. And then you can also ask them for advice if maybe they've been in a similar situation and listen to them that way. You can also practice gratitude. So just finding things that you're thankful for or grateful for within your life can help shift a mindset from being in a stress situation to a more positive mindset and just being thankful and grateful for the things rather than shifting from the positive to the negative. Just acknowledging and accepting our emotions can help us work through them. So knowing that it's a very normal and acceptable thing to be stressed. And then we're just working on the management side of things and trying different strategies to help us work through our emotions. Maybe you like to listen to music, throwing on maybe your favorite band, favorite song, or having a playlist of relaxing sounds could be helpful. You can try different breathing exercises and just practice giving your body oxygen in that manner. And I have some examples in a little bit here. You can practice positive affirmations or mantras, so just repeating little statements over and over again. Also similar to gratitude, just shifting that mindset. You can engage in physical activity. So when we're stressed, there are physical reactions within our body, and getting that physical activity can help relieve that stress. And then you can also practice mindfulness. So just some breathing practices and exercises that you can try in different situations. So if you're feeling like you need to be re-energized, you could try karate breath or a stimulating breath. So a stimulating breath would be breathing in and out of your nose in a rapid and equal time. So like this. So trying that. If you feel anxious or have a lot of anxiety about a situation or in the moment, you can try some belly breathing, deep breathing, or some mindful breathing. So a belly breath would be putting your hands on your heart and the upper part of your stomach. And when you're breathing in, you want to push out in your stomach to make sure that you're getting as much oxygen in there as possible. And then when you breathe out, you can feel it go back in. So you really just want to focus on pushing your stomach out while you're breathing in through your nose and exhaling out of your mouth. And then you'll feel your stomach fall back in, and just having our hands there to help us be more aware of that. If you're stressed, you can again try some belly breathing, deep breathing, box breathing, or a lion's breath. So a lion's breath is where you breathe in deep in your nose and out forcefully through your mouth with your tongue out and you're looking up. So I'll demonstrate it. It'll look kind of silly. So it's kind of like you're roaring like a lion. So you can try that. Maybe in a more private setting, but if you're comfortable doing it out in the open, go for it. If you are having some trouble sleeping, you can try a 4-7-8 breath. So that's where you are breathing in for 4 counts, holding it for 7 counts, and then exhaling for 8. And then just repeating that over and over again until your body calms itself enough that it'll fall asleep. And then if you just feel like you need to calm down, you can try a coherent breath. So that's where you're breathing in through your nose for 6 counts and then out through your mouth for 6 counts. And then if you wanted to try any of the other types of breaths that I didn't talk about, if you just Google it, it'll tell you the instructions for how to do that. Okay. And then some different positive affirmations. So these are really just very simple statements. They can be as general as you would like the ones here, or you can make your own and have it be more specific to different situations that you might experience where you just need that positive mantra or affirmation for. So just saying like, I can do this, I get better every single day, I am proud of myself, I am loved, I am strong, I'm doing my best, I am my own superhero. And it can even be longer like this one. I have the power to make the right choices for me. So really trying out what works best for you, figuring out ones that you enjoy saying and ones that relieve stress, get you in that positive mindset thinking would be beneficial. Okay. We also want to make sure that you're practicing some realistic self-care. So self-care is kind of this flashy word or term that's been thrown around for different things. And really it can be whatever is going to make you feel the best, and making sure that you're doing this in order to take care of yourself, remembering that self-care is not selfish. that we actually need to be well in order to give our best to others. So setting aside time to do the self-care is prioritizing our own well-being and giving us the opportunity and the chances to give to others in a better way. So really, it can be whatever you would like to do to make sure that you are the best that you can be. So this can mean prioritizing the basics. So making sure that you have a clean bedroom, you're brushing your teeth, taking a shower, eating healthy, staying active, doing the dishes. Really those basic things that go along with daily adult living. Just making sure that you have that time for that and prioritizing that can be good self-care. Moving your body, so staying active in different ways. So maybe if you like running, doing yoga, dancing, playing basketball, in any way that you move your body, that helps you take care of yourself. Scheduling some alone time. So in this alone time, you can do various things, maybe just sit and sleep in alone time, or working on a different hobby that you enjoy. Really just making sure that you have time set aside where you can rejuvenate for yourself. If that's how you feel that you get your energy restored. You can also schedule some social time, just making sure that you're prioritizing that as a human, you're a social being, so you do need some social time in there. Scheduling a chat with a partner, family, friends, making sure that it's fun for you, getting organized with that, and then get a good night's sleep. So this one is also one of those things that we often overlook, but it's really important and very beneficial for our overall health if we're getting good amount of sleep, the right amount, and just overall feeling like it was a good sleep as well. Okay, and you can also practice some mindfulness as self-care or stress management. So mindfulness is also one of those terms that's being thrown around more often. So really mindfulness is this idea of us being fully in the present, in the moment now, and having a awareness for our surroundings and feelings, and making sure that we are just being very thoughtful about different feelings and emotions, things that are going on around us in the right here, right now, rather than being focused on the past or the future. And we really want to be fully in the present now. This has led to improvement in focus and also managing stress. So here's a quick little video that I'll talk through that mindfulness can really be as simple as 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be this big practice. It can be, but it doesn't have to be.
Mindfulness. It's really become quite the buzzword in recent times, even though mindfulness practices have been used for millennia. Most of us are in agreement that mindfulness practices are a positive thing and would benefit our life. There's an abundant amount of research illustrating the positive effect that mindfulness practices have on quality of life, improved focus, and decreased stress. From Fortune 500 companies to elementary schools, mindfulness practices are being used every day in practical application and controlled studies with wonderful outcomes. Unfortunately, most of us tend to pump the brakes when we think about sequestering even a small amount of time or a quiet space to practice mindfulness. You might think to yourself, a quiet space? 10 minutes? What? Forget it. I don't have time. We allow, out of survival in the moment, we allow screaming children, occupational pressures, general life stress, and technological distractions to consume our precious minutes. The result of brushing mindfulness practices aside is more stress and a decreased quality of life. What if I told you that the benefits of mindfulness could be obtained in as little as 30 seconds in almost any setting? You might think that I'm selling snake oil, or at a minimum, it's too good to be true. The reality is, it is true, and is being done regularly by people that I've trained in the method that I'm about to share with you, ranging from elite athletes to doctors to parents. I first developed the technique I call the 3x3 method when my daughter was about 1 year old. For those of you with children, you know that parenting brings about great joy, but also an incredible amount of stress. I found myself experiencing increased muscle tension, headaches, and anxiety as I rushed from home to work, to home, to the playground, to home, to bed, to work, to home, to the playground, and on the carousel went. I became extremely uncomfortable, and so I set out to do something about it. Now, as a psychotherapist working in the high-pressured environment of the Silicon Valley, I am inherently passionate about mindfulness techniques. Thought I had it in the bag. I set out to give it a try. Unfortunately, I fell right into the hurry, 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 I don't have time trap. What'd that get me? More stress, more headaches, more anxiety, the whole thing. I kept plugging along and still had very little positive result. So I thought, well, maybe I'll try and get some feedback. I started wearing a heart rate monitor to gauge my physical response to different techniques that I was trying. Kept plugging along and still was not having the type of result that I had hoped for, until I paired one of the most basic breathing techniques alongside one of the most basic mindfulness techniques. That's when it clicked. That was the game changer. My heart rate began to drop consistently. My psychological responses to stressors in the environment were significantly altered. Thus, the 3x3 method was born. The 3x3 method is extremely simple. All you're going to do is identify one physical object in the environment, name it, and take one deep breath and repeat it 3 times. Now keep in mind, most everyone that I've trained in this model looked at me like I was spouting nonsense until they tried it. So you're not alone if you're feeling that same way right now, and don't worry, we're gonna do it together in just a minute, okay? You wanna do it together? Yeah. All right. So I want you to find 3 physical objects in your environment. It can be anything. It can be your desk, someone sitting next to you, your computer screen, a lamp, literally anything. It's important not to fall into a particular trap that I've seen many people fall in, and that is to add subjective descriptors to the object, like, that's my favorite stool, or I really like Johnny. When we add these subjective descriptors, adjectives, etc., it brings about subtle emotional reactions that muddle the process. So you're simply going to say, that's a stool, nothing else. And when you name the object, you're going to do so in your mind, not out loud. If you're doing this at work or on the bus or on the train, people might start to think, you're having a little trouble that day, okay? And when you take your breath, you're going to do so through your nose or your mouth, whatever's comfortable for you. Ultimately, it is best if you choose the objects yourself, but for the sake of this talk and for us to do it together and things to be expeditious, I've picked out 3 objects for us. This pointer, that stool, and this screen. Ready to give it a try together? All right, here we go. That's a pointer. Take a deep breath. That's a stool. Deep breath. That's a screen. Another deep breath. So, how do you feel? A little less stressed? A little more relaxed? It's good, right? And it's insanely simple. I even use it at night if I wake up worried about the children or work or whatever it is and I can't get back to sleep. And you better believe that I was using it behind that curtain before coming out here today. Okay? And backstage, I even did what I call a 9x9, which is doing the whole process 3 times in a row. And you can do that too if you're ever really in a tight spot or coming out to give a TEDx talk. So when are you going to use the 3x3 method in your life? We all experience repeated stressors in our daily lives that tax our ability to stay present in the current moment, focus, and manage our stress. I want you to take a moment to think about one of these repeated stressors that you experience. It shouldn't be too hard. Everyone have something? Okay. So let's make a promise to each other. The next time that we experience one of these stressors, we'll use the 3x3 method to try and manage it. Deal? Yeah. Great. So, what is the future of the 3x3 method? The people who are using the 3x3 method continue to inspire me in the myriad of situations and occupations and life settings in which they're using it. I have an elite runner using it during long races to keep stamina. A spine surgeon using it during complex procedures to stay calm. Even a CEO using it right before making big decisions. Really, anyone can use it in almost any setting. From parents to business people to doctors to athletes, it doesn't matter. Finally, the 3x3 method can be used to help us avoid the ever-growing addictive nature of the impulse to check our digital devices. The next time that you're in line at the store and you have that urge to take your phone out and check social media, send a text, read an email, don't. Use the 3x3 method instead to bring yourself back to the current moment. Every moment has meaning. Time is precious. Don't miss out. Thank you for sharing this moment with me.
So some other mindfulness practices include meditation, so working through a guided meditation or just sitting in silence, doing some breathing, letting your mind wander and work through different thoughts that it might be having. Within that meditation, you can try some different grounding exercises, which are more focused on narrowing your thoughts into more specific things. So for example, my favorite grounding exercise to recommend is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's going through 5 different things you can see, 4 different things you can feel, 3 different things you hear, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you taste. So really just rather than having lots of wandering thoughts and just being overwhelmed with our thoughts, it really grounds you back into the present and being aware of our surroundings and feelings. You can practice self-compassion, so being compassionate towards yourself and different practices there. And then if you like a more physical side of mindfulness, yoga would be a good thing to try. And there's lots of different resources out there about mindfulness and different practices, so feel free to explore on your own as well. And then another thing that could be impacting kind of your mental well-being right now is some financial stress. So with the current circumstances, it's impacting everyone. Unemployment is at a high right now. So just remembering you're not the only one going through this, and that there are people out there to help you, and that some of these tips might help as well. So you can work and create a bridge plan. So this is where you're really looking at your basics and prioritizing those, just going down to the bones of things of food, shelter, utilities. Those are the things that we need to survive. So looking at how much that needs to be spent there, and then making sure that that's a priority. You can revisit your budget, look it over, and categorize your spending based on some different categories. So looking at whether this is an important thing that I'm spending my money on, but it is a changeable amount that I'm spending on it. This is an important thing that I'm spending money on, but the amount isn't changeable. This isn't an important thing, and the amount I'm spending on it is changeable. Or this isn't an important thing, but unfortunately, the amount is unchangeable. So looking through those different categories and reworking your spending. You can work to negotiate your bills. So calling lenders and providers directly to see how they can help you, whether that's waiving maybe late fees, scheduling your due dates at different times based on maybe a new pay schedule, and just really seeing how they can assist you through this and help alleviate that stress for you. Look into some local resources. So different emergency grants, food services, housing assistance, looking into the Dane County Human Services webpage has information about those different things. And there's also a mutual aid Facebook group where you can ask more immediate needs and people are willing to respond to them. So joining that. Just really looking into different local resources that can provide financial assistance. And then utilize some free professional help. So looking into some free financial advisors that can help look at your finances and from a professional standpoint, help work through budgets and different things like that, and how to set different priorities. If you're specifically looking for help with any credit card debt, there are certified counseling agencies out there. If you need information about mortgage payments and assistance with that, you can reach out to different housing and urban development housing counselors. If you have student loans that you're concerned about, reach out to your loan service provider, and they can answer questions about that. And if you have any medical bills that you need help with or have questions about the billing, reach out to your healthcare provider directly rather than a collection agency, because a lot of times the healthcare provider can be more reasonable and work out different situations for you a lot easier than a collectioner's office would be able to. Okay, and then here's just some hotlines and resources. So these are local. The free clinic that's still operating is Our Lady of Hope Clinic, and then some federally qualified health centers within Madison. So Access Community Health Center has a bunch of different clinics throughout Madison. And then there's also Heartland Alliance Health. Those are federally qualified. So the rates would be a little lower. Some different local support services. So these are all hotlines. The 211, again, provides a lot of different resources. They'll redirect you to different organizations. Journey Mental Health, Briar Patch Helpline, the Trans Lifeline, and Days Helpline. So these are all local helplines. And then there's also national support services. So the crisis text line, the Trevor Lifeline is specifically for the LGBTQ+ community, National Suicide Prevention Hotline. If you have some parental stress, there's a 24/7 stress line that you can call and talk with someone. There's also a disaster distress helpline out there as well, and that one's more general, so helping with a broader range of assistance there. And then some more additional support. There's this list of Madison resources that are specifically due to the impacts of COVID-19, so directly related to that. And they just have a bunch of different information about rent support, utilities, food security, financial resources there. And then you can also look at the general resources here for families and staff from MMSD, utilizing that. And then there's also drop-in office hours that we provide, where you can call in and ask any questions that you might have. And then I'm also available by email if you'd prefer to ask questions that way. And I'd like to thank you for tuning into this workshop, and I hope to see you in a workshop in the future. Thanks again. Bye.